What's poppin', survivors? Top of the day. Smoke session. Urgent message. Future updates as always. 1/5 of the whole entire globe supplies is stuck at ports. Oh shit. 1/5. Supplies from spoons, tables, electronics, home appliances, medical supplies, medications for people that have dire illnesses and diseases. One-fifth. And guess where the majority of it is? It's not a hard guess. Who's the number one world top supplier of everything? The majority of it, over 75% of it, is stuck at ports in China. Yep. Yes, sirree. Yet, individuals on this app, known as YouTube, think we are fear-mongering. Think we are trying to stir up the crowd. Get people reared up and ready to go. Doing it for the views. That's 1/5 of the world's supplies. Jammed up. So you know what that means, right? Even when they finally get those ports moving in China, we're going to be jammed up again. Because we have all of this back shipment coming through at one time. 1/5 of the world's supplies. That's not no little feat. That's going to take a lot of manpower to unload, a lot of taxpayer dollars and company dollars to fund, just to get it from their point A to point B. A lot of people think that this is, I guess you can say, a hoax. The shortages, I mean, are a hoax because, for one, in certain areas, they still have a good amount of supplies. Other areas will experience the shortages differently than the others. I mean, that's pretty obvious, especially for the beginning stages. So their areas might have a good amount of supplies still. They also don't know that these stores are running off of back stock. They're emergency supplies, just in case if a delivery gets delayed. The problem is there's no delivery coming. That's the shortage. there's no delivery coming. So yeah, they don't know a lot of them are running off of back stock, emergency stock, and they don't understand that this is also engineered. Because don't get me wrong at all. I know that you can eat off just the land. There's no such thing as a food shortage. You can eat off just the land. So I already know that. And anybody that's a survivor, I guess, or a prepper is what they call them now. Anybody that's a survivalist, researcher, they know certain techniques that allow you to live off the land of the past that we have forgotten today. So one thing that will help you that they put up into media is certain shows like um, Man versus Wild, things of that nature. Discovery Channel, things that show you how it is in nature and show people living in nature. If you at least watch shows like that, then you at least know some skills, right? You know some skills just from watching the show. All of it isn't 100%, survivalist. Of course, they have some Hollywood antics to boost certain situations up, but that's just something that they'll always do because they want you to watch it. So they want you to make sure that they want to ensure you are entertained in some way, meaning that they have your mind for that moment. So they're doing, uh, there's amazing effects within these shows that will not be in real life. So you can live off the land, but when you have been modernized and you're used to that modern life where you don't have to use those skills, then you will be at a disadvantage. It just is what it is. You will be at a disadvantage because you forgot what it was like to be a natural human. So since you have forgotten those skills, you have to live without them. It is what it is. So a lot of people that are in that situation, they tend to go extinct because that bloodline, those genes get weeded out from the land. You're not part of the setup. You're not part of what living beings are doing right now. So that's just a reality for a large portion of America because they are that person in the situation. And a good amount of people know this. Even surprises me the amount of people that know this now. But that is also proof that it is the end. Once the people know, that is the apocalypse. The apocalypse just means the revealing of all. Once you know the truth, then there is no system. There's no structure. So you got to understand that once you're living like that, and then there is a population of what you would call quote unquote elite people that live in this civilization to control it. Well, that can happen to you too when you're that person in the situation. So you are at a kidnapped position from the people that really own you and the people that don't know they're being owned. That's just what it is. So if you have individuals like that taking advantage of you, that brings your mortality rate even lower. That makes it to where your lifespan is that much decreased and deceased. So if you don't want to be a person in that situation, then I suggest you do research. I suggest you learn how to live off the land once again, because that's what you will need. So, because everything is reversing. So we're going to a place back to where even before the Stone Ages, because we don't know how to be self-sufficient. The majority of the populace doesn't know how to be self-sufficient, so they won't even have that to help them out during a crash. So they're engineering this right now. So that means that the people that have the power to are cutting off all the resources. They're cutting it at the neck so that those resources won't make it to you. Hence, 1/5 of the world's population being stuck at ports. Over 75% of those supplies are stuck at ports in China. So, I don't know. China serves items to the world at very costly, priceless prices that are reasonable. Very cheap prices to get this done. So that's what everybody's using. It's called capitalism, right? Well, now it's backfiring on you. It always happens in every civilization. Once it happens, civilization gone. We hit our ceiling, the best we can be. Now we can only be the worst we can be. It's done. That's the balance. That's the universal balance of America, because America is that person in this situation. So if you know that America is the person, the majority of America is that person, I suggest you live like it, stock like it, and be researching and on the know like it, because you got to know when things, you got to know in the SHTF. Once you know that, time to rely on your skills, time to rely on your survival tactics. And I know I'm due for another survival tactic, which is one of the things I do. I have like a series of teaching people things they can use to survive. So things that mainstream and that I don't hear being talked about at the moment, tactics like that, I'll bring to the forefront and be like, well, you ever thought of this? And then people will be like, wow, I didn't think to incorporate that. So I'll incorporate that in my survival tactics. And then that knowledge is spread and it saves lives and it can save families. So that's what I attempt to do. So you do what you want with that information. 1/5 of the world's population is docked at ports and they can't get out. Over 75% of those supplies are trapped in ports at China because they're doing their COVID lockdowns, and their COVID lockdowns are messing with the supply chain in other countries because China supplies to everyone. So hope you realize that. Peace.